It's IG Live. Today we are talking with author Tonya Abari, and I have here a copy of her latest book. She has 3 books published and more on the way. This is the latest one. It's Locs, Not Dreads. She also is the author of My Hair, My Crown, and Let's Celebrate Juneteenth. So we're going to be talking to her about her books. Hello. And also about all of her writing. She doesn't just do children's. She also does a lot of copywriting, copy editing, copywriting, and sensitivity reading. And so really, as she describes herself, a multi-genre storyteller. Hello. Hi, thank you for joining us
Hi.
today.
Thank you for having me. I'm trying to figure out, my equipment is not up to par. So I'm trying to figure out how to position
Yeah.
this phone and have it stay. I'm holding it
Yes.
horizontally.
Right.
That's the best
Correct.
way, right?
Yeah, you got
Not
it.
this way. Okay. All
Well,
right.
hopefully it's not too uncomfortable for you there. Yeah.
It's okay. It's a
There,
workout.
there you go. I'm helping you out there. Well, why don't we jump on in and tell us, you introduce yourself, although I think most people know who you are, but go ahead, introduce yourself and tell us what was your journey to becoming an author?
Hi, everyone. And I'm sorry, I'm chewing on ginger. It's not all all the way there yet. But I'm Tonya Abari, and thank you for having me.
Leanna.
Is it Leanna or Liana? Leanna, okay. Thank you for having me on today. The journey to being an author, woo, a long, winding road, as many my fellow authors can probably confirm. But I started
Mm.
out as a classroom teacher. I'm teaching English outside of the DC area in Maryland, and I taught all of 4 years as a classroom teacher. So it didn't work out too well, but I think there's no coincidences, and I enjoyed the students and I enjoyed my time there, but I just felt I could not be my full creative self in the classroom setting, and I wanted to do other things, and so I went on to be a set teacher, which is teaching children that work in entertainment on their film and movie sets, and traveled a bit around the country doing that. And at the same time, launched or went back into writing. And so I started out as a
Mm.
journalism major in undergrad, and I've always kind of been a freelance journalist. My maiden name is Wells. And so in middle school, I did this
Mm.
big, huge report for my journalism class, saying how the blood of Ida B. Wells runs through my veins. And so I was kind of thrusted on that path. I've never been a staff writer in journalism. I've always been like a freelancer, even in high school and middle school. I was always a contributor and not um, doing stories full time. And so I kind of went back to that after undergrad, after leaving teaching, in addition to set teaching. And I just didn't know, to be honest, how to publish books. It was always something that I had
Mhm.
in my vision. Yes, I want to be a published author. I have so much to say in so many areas, but I did not know how to go about doing that. So I jumped in and to, I think I did 12 by 12 back in 2016. And that was when I had my daughter in 2015. And so I was reading lots and lots and lots of picture books and board books and books for children at that point, surveying the land before reading them to her always. And so I had lots of stories that I wanted to tell because I couldn't
Right.
find the stories. And so I kind of jumped into 12 by 12 and participated, and I got 12 manuscripts, picture book manuscripts written in during that time. And yes, that was a challenge. And then one picture book manuscript that I had on my hard drive, which is sitting behind me, this book right here. I'd actually written this story for my niece back in 2010. And it sat on my hard drive for a while. And when I got back into writing, I was writing for educational publishing. And so I was trying to get the story published as a short
Mm.
story on an assessment. And I kept trying to get this story published, and I kept just, no, 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 absolutely not. So I brought it back to life in 12 by 12 a few years later, and decided that I wanted to um, try to get it published, and then starts the journey. So it's been a long and winding road, and I'm probably missing a lot of things, but in short, that's how
Well,
it
the
came
thing
to
I
be.
found so fascinating. So I know you mostly from your children's books, and I knew that you were a freelance writer, but I didn't realize you also did all kinds of things. Like you really say you're a multi-genre storyteller. I mean, you do work researching and editing government reports, and I mean, to me that just seems so different. But is that how you see it? Is it just like another kind of storytelling, whether you're writing for a magazine or a newspaper, or you're writing, you're doing a government report, or you're doing children's book, or is the process really different for you, or how does that kind of fit together?
To be honest, that's how I see it, is storytelling, different modalities of storytelling. And for me, I the three P's are very important to me: purpose, passion, and then of course a paycheck. So I have always, in anything that I've done, storytelling has always been a catalyst for change. And so if you look at any kind of organization or book or platform or any kind of organization or entity, the storytelling is kind of the central piece, and can be the center in the way to get people reeled in, to move people towards change. And so I have always looked at work, who sits up and dream?
Mm-hmm.
No one dreams of labor, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Someone else may, but I don't. And when I thought about what I really wanted to do and my purpose, what my purpose and what I'm good at, the skills that were bestowed upon me before I came Earthside, I believe, because I believe that the ancestors are really guiding me towards this, and I believe in that passion and that purpose. And so if I'm in whatever setting I'm in and storytelling is at the center of that, I just believe that that's a part. There's a reason for that. There's a bigger reason that the storytelling is needing to be there. And me using my skills in that capacity in various industries has always been, for me, just a way to incite change, a way for me to walk in that purpose while I'm here on earth. Because that's the tax we
I
pay,
love that.
right?
I love that that's such a unifying thread through all of the work that you're doing. And I know you've said that when you do write, that you're deeply passionate about writing as an expression of your lived experience as a Black woman and mother in the United States. So what does that mean to you, and how does that influence your work?
Yes, absolutely. So my experiences, I are central to my work, and whatever genre or age group that I'm writing, every piece that I write is personal to me. And I think that my lived experience, particularly as a Black woman and as a mother in the United States, I have many branches, many things that I've experienced that it just shows up in my work, from birth all the way until now. And I think that we are such multifaceted and
Mm-hmm.
complex human beings that as a writer, I love to tap into all of the areas and all of the experiences that have made me who I am. And a part of that is not even necessarily just the lived experiences, but reimagining experiences. I am doing a lot of inner child work now at this point, and with writing
Right.
picture books and writing books for children, a lot of inner child work is involved. So it's going back to that time in my life, and sometimes reimagining how I would see it, or how I would want it to be, is a part of my writing as well. So for me, I just feel like my experiences, my identity is not the end all be all of who I am, of course, but it definitely certainly drives the things that I'm passionate about, and the
Yeah,
things
and
that I
speaking
write
of which,
about.
well, first, before I get to that, I just want to address the comments because I know you're talking, so I can take care of that. Some really
Yeah,
comments
I
and
can't
nice to
see.
see you on here. Love your work. And somebody else had also mentioned that we're sideways,
Oh,
and
thank
that's
you.
true. Yeah, love this talk. Thank you for that. And I know we're sideways. We do that because of how it looks when we post it to YouTube. So I know we are. So thanks for bearing with us with that. And if you just rotate your phones, but getting back to what you're passionate about, and I know you have a lot of books that are coming out, but are the ones that the children's books that are published, two of them focus on Black hair. You do have one that's about Juneteenth. You also have My Hair, My Crown. And then I have this one, Locs, Not Dreads. Why is hair such an important topic, especially for Black children? Like, why was this something that you felt like you really needed to write?
Okay, so just to, just to kind of circle back to like industry stuff, because a lot of this is tied. I have
Right.
no control over what comes out first and what comes out. These aren't necessarily the books that I wrote first or actually necessarily wanted to come out first or in this order, but publishing is what it is. And these are, this is the topic because I was, to be quite frank with everyone, like I, was starting out as a new author. I was like, well, I just don't want to have all the hair books come out at the same time, because we're so much more than that. Like we're so much more than, our hair. But in the timeline, this is, what happened. They both came out at the same time and they came out first. And so I just wanted to clarify that. But to go back to why these books are important to me, I unapologetically, number one, write these books as mirrors so that kids that look like me can pick them up and see themselves in the books and see some of the experiences that they may have and can relate to and can work their way through conversation through my books from reading them. Of course, they are also mirrors as well. But first and foremost, I am really unapologetic about
So,
having our
mhm.
experiences in books for other children to connect with. Yes. And so the hair is not it is, someone brought this up in one of my author talks and I was like, yes, that's it. The hair is a main character in itself in the book. And so there's so many things going on with the hair. It's being celebrated, but it also discusses, the book discusses
Right.
the hair discrimination. And so in my writing, even in my children's writing and my writing for adults as well, I like to explore the spectrum of emotions. I know right now that a lot of writers are separating the two. Okay, so we want Black joy in books. We want Black joy. We want kids to feel like their everyday lives matter and them existing is beautiful and wonderful. And then we have books that address social issues, and we want children to be able to have conversation about these social issues too. In my writing, I tend to include all of it in the pot, because our lives are nonlinear. We experience the joy and the pain alongside each other. And for me, it's important when writing books to kind of explore the full spectrum of all of our emotions and all of our experiences. So these books are kind of like loaded. So it's not just, hair and the social impact of hair discrimination, but also a celebration of our history and why we wear our hair the way that we do, and how we love on ourselves and we love on our hair and we love the history and the metaphor
I
and the
love
meaning
that
behind it.
because it's true. I mean, I have seen a lot that it's either one or the other, and I love that you're bringing them both in because, like you said, that's often how it's experienced. And I wonder if we could get into, and this is partly like my own interest, but because drawing on your background as an educator, because not only were you teaching in the classroom, but you also worked with teachers on how to provide inclusive instruction of Black literature in the classroom. So I'd love to talk about that a little bit, just because, you know, talking about the larger issues about why we need these books, but also how to make sure they're being talked about in the classroom. So why was that so needed to work with the teachers about this? What were some of the challenges that they were facing? Was it that they weren't doing, that maybe they didn't think it was important, or were they not sure how to? Were they getting resistance on doing it? What were some of the issues that you were dealing with?
All of the above. Uh, all of the above. So let's say, you know, when in a traditional setting, quote unquote, I'd use traditional in air quotes because,
Right.
you know, hey, what is traditional and what's not traditional? But in a traditional setting, you know, teachers are told, you know, what they can teach. And you go into a school and you go into a system that has already decided for the teachers and for the students that certain history, certain books, certain topics are okay for our kids to discuss, but that some are not. And so you are, number one, challenging the system of already existing curriculum, that it does not include the full spectrum of experiences for all of our students. And then you're challenging a system that is teaching our students, and the students that are on the other side, they look like us. It's a diverse group of students across the globe that we're teaching, but we're not giving them the full platter of education. And so what does that mean for our students? What does that mean when they are in a classroom and they are learning and they're reading classic literature or literature that's important, but yet they don't see themselves in the books that they're reading? They don't see themselves in the history. They don't see the full entirety of themselves in the history. So as an educator, writing from a former educator's point of view, I know that these things are missing. And so I'm trying to address one of my purposes in writing for children and writing children's books is that I want to address some of these things in the books. And because, let's be honest, we send our children to school, we're trusting that they're getting a full spread of education, but that doesn't always happen. And so we also need to, as a community, as parents, as aunties, as neighbors, we also have to teach our children too. And so where do we go and where do we look to find books, to find information, to find support so that all children know that they can see themselves in their history and that their history matters and who they are matters, and that their imagination matters and all of those things. So as a writer, I'm often thinking about, you know, how educators can use this book. And hey, you know, we just see in the news, there's a young man that in Texas was suspended. He's missed almost the entire school year because of what? Because of his hair. I'm not locked up right now, you know, hey, it changes. But I can't imagine as a parent what that's like, having your child being sent home. Well, I can't imagine because it's happened. But I just am not understanding how, you know, we're not getting like the point that, okay, this child's hair is a part of who he is and a part of his culture and a part of what makes him has nothing to do with him being in school. It has nothing to do with that. So why are we not getting that? So yeah,
No,
I went on a
no,
tangent, but
that's
I hope
good.
I
This is
answered your
all, I mean, it's all,
question.
like you said, it's also important because it's missing from the classrooms, and then, you know, how do we make it up in the community? And maybe that would be a good segue into talking about your other books, because as you mentioned, these are only a few of the books that you've written and that you have coming out. So maybe you can tell us what are the other books that we can look forward to.
Sure. Okay, so I have Santa Like Me is coming out in 2026. 2025, it was pushed back. I keep saying 2024, it's no longer 2024. But that's publishing with Little Brown, books for young readers. And that's a sweet one. We love Christmas. We love the holidays here. And then I have a nonfiction picture book publishing in 2025 with HarperCollins on the 6888. And that is, hey, Brittany. Hi, everyone. I see Brittany, Brooke, Aaliyah. I see B. Sharice checked in. Hi, everybody. So my friends, those two are coming out in 2025. And then I am feverishly working on adult projects. I write a lot of essays. And so I have, some essays that are coming out in anthologies and some pieces. I'm always, writing freelance journalism. So I have clips that are coming out very soon. I love writing about my intersections are always, having to do with family and family, food. I'm a foodie. I love food, how they intersect. So check out, just stay tuned on iamtabari.com for more stuff. I don't know how, this is something that I'm working on because I write the full range. I admire writers who do that. And now I'm understanding how hard it is to flip and go from thing to thing. And then also too, myself, people say, oh, how are you going to market yourself? How are you going to blah, 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 all that brand talk and marketing talk. Look, I am who I am. So you might catch me, loving up on these children books for a minute or a day. And then the next day I'm talking about, a piece of literary nonfiction that I can't put down. And I can't turn that off. Part of that is being, my neurodivergent brain is just all over the place. There's so many branches, but I have surrendered to that. And I want my readers to surrender to that with me too, and to know that they can expect multiple things across genres and across ages that really center, and it can tell you a bit about who I am.
I have one follow-up question that just occurred to me as you were talking. Is there a genre that you haven't done that you would really love to do? Because you've written so many different ways, so many different formats. Is there something you haven't done that you'd really love to tackle?
Not that I want to tackle. I mean, I really enjoy reading speculative and fantasy. I don't want to tackle it.
You just want to.
I don't want to tackle it. I'm going to leave that. Yes, but I enjoy reading in that area. There's one that I haven't written yet that I would love to tackle is historical fiction. Just because, I'm a hood historian too. I love reimagining new histories that I find out. But but the speculative, I love it. I love reading, and there's some very talented writers out there, but I'm not touching. And I will say never, but yeah. Yeah. And then, I do want to say too, is that, I'm a fan of everything under the sun, writing everything under the sun. But I know that, there's a bit of niching down that I have done, because I know that there are certain areas, like in adult, I love nonfiction, and I just, I write a little bit of flash fiction sometimes, in my journal, and I keep it to myself, but I'm not trying to publish it or anything. But I just love I love adult nonfiction. I love prescriptive. I love memoir. I just love it. And so, at first I was like, what's wrong with me? I thinking about, what people are reading and all that. Why can't you just write this? But then, I surrender to the genres that come naturally to me and that I enjoy writing and reading the most. So I would never say that I would never try, but I'm kind of stuck on the things that I like to do.
That you're doing, so there's nothing wrong with that. And for those that are joining us late, This is going to be up in a few minutes on Instagram. We'll have it later on YouTube. What a pleasure to talk with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Oh, I had a blast. Thank you for having me. Is there anything else? I thought we had one more question on there.
Check. No, I think that was it. If there's anything else you'd like to share, you're welcome to. I think we covered everything though. Ask me.
Well,
yes.
I want to ask you a question.
Oh, I'm not prepared for this. Okay.
Yes. That's how I do. I like to remix it. Okay, so how can we, the audience, the readers, and other authors like myself, how can we support Read Your World? How can we support you in your mission? Because what you're doing is fabulous, and I love that. So how can we further support
first of all,
what you're
doing?
Thank
you for asking that. What a nice thing to say, and to hear from somebody like you that we admire so much, because all we really want to do is to really support diversity in children's books and to kind of get the word out about people who are doing such great work and to help publicize that. We do have a big event coming up at the end of January, the Multicultural Children's Book Day event, so people can sign up. We really need people to review books, and this is actually something just really fun. You sign up, you get a free book. If you're in the US, you can get a hard copy. If you're not in the US, that's okay. We can get you a PDF, and you get just a free book to review. All you have to do is commit to actually publishing a review, like if you have a blog or if you have on social media or you write a review on Amazon. We try to make it really easy. And that's it, because we're really trying to get more people to know about these books. So book reviewers, if you're an author, you can donate your book to be reviewed and have it reviewed, or have it as a prize in one of our events. We have a big virtual event at the end of January, so you can donate a book as a prize, or you can sign up to be a sponsor. If you look at our feed, you can see all the wonderful sponsors that we have right now. If you're an author and you don't have the budget for that, talk to your publisher, or see, because a lot of times publishers will purchase sponsorships for their authors, and so you can ask them about that. That's the way. And especially if you're an audience and maybe you already signed up to be a book reviewer, or maybe you don't have time for that, just sharing any of our stuff on social media would be a huge help, because when you share our things, you're also helping support all of these diverse authors and illustrators, the publishers that support them. And so it's kind of helping us all lift each other up. So thank you for asking that.
I love that. Thank you. You hear that, everybody? Sign up to review. Reviews are so critical and vital to us getting more books out into the world for our readers. So help Leanna out. We got you. We got your back. Thank you
so much,
Leanna.
and thank you everybody for watching. We really appreciate all of your support. We're a nonprofit, and so all the support we get from you helps us keep going and interview more amazing people like Tonya here. So, reviewing 2 books in January. Thank you. We appreciate that. I can't wait to see them. Yes.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody.
I love it.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.